Oh my God, somebody hired me and I don't know what to charge. Get that all the time. People send me emails all the time. I don't know what to charge. What should my rate be for this project? That's not a easy question to answer, especially if you're new at this business or you haven't done much business negotiation before. If somebody's going to try and make money with whatever this thing is that you're recording, whether you're going to be a voice in a game, you're going to be voicing a trailer for a project, you're doing somebody's commercial, you better get paid for it. You better get paid for it. Don't make your time totally non-valuable, and don't do it for exposure. So how do you know how much to get paid? Here's a technique that I've used a bunch of times. I use it all the time, and it works. I believe it is ethical. I believe it is correct, and I believe it conforms to, if you pay attention to like World Voices, the groups that try and protect voice actors and make sure that we get paid. I believe this definitely falls in line with their guidelines. So it starts with market rates. What are market rates? Market rates are what the prevailing rates are for professional voiceover actors to what they would get paid for different kinds of gigs. And there'll be a rate for a radio advertisement that plays for 13 weeks in certain markets, or for long-form narration, or for web videos. They've got all these different rates out there. And what I do is I don't publish a rate card. I don't publish one for myself, because a client's going to look at that and go, how do I know if that's a good rate? What I do is I point to somebody else's rate card and say, let's take an example, and we're going to name names. So voices.com. Voices.com, very well-known brand, right? A lot of clients will know about voices.com, and they publish a PDF with rates on it. And so I'll say, look, if you were to go through an agency or you were to go through voices.com, here's what you could expect to pay for this kind of gig. If it's a radio commercial and a local radio station, regional place, you're going to expect to pay $200 for a 30-second spot. Now, voices.com has to keep their lights on, right? They take commissions, they have that website, and they have a business that they have to run. And so they need to make some money off that. So if the client is paying $200, you as the talent, you're going to get less than that, right? The client still is on the hook for $200, but you, the talent, you're going to get somewhat less than that. You're going to get $100, or you're going to get $125, or whatever it is. So you as your individual, if somebody says, Mike, I'd like you to voice my radio commercial, and how much would you charge for that? Here's my strategy. Well, if you were to go through an agency or voices.com and hire a talent from there, you'd expect to pay $200 for that particular spot. And that helps them keep their business running and helps them keep their lights on. I don't have any such overhead. You're dealing with me in my studio, and so I can offer you a discount on that rate by dealing directly with me and not adding that overhead. So I'm willing to look at their rate and they take 15% off that rate. And that's it, right? I take 15%. I'll take 15% off what the standard rates are by dealing directly with me. I don't have the overhead. I don't have the engineer. I know how to do this. I have my own studio. It's all paid for. And that's how I'll charge it. And then I'll say, what do you get for that? So for that rate, you will get from me a professional quality recording. It will be broadcast quality. It will have basic production to it, which means there's not going to be any hiss. It will be edited. You're not going to hear any of my mistakes, and you'll get the raw WAV file for you to do with what you wish. I'll relinquish my copyright for it, and you'll get that for free. And then that is yours. And they'll either say, too expensive, or they'll say, that sounds great. How do you get paid? Well, that's the next step. Have a PayPal account. It's usually the easiest way to do it. Have a PayPal account. And I'll say, you put a 50% deposit down, I'll record it, I'll give you an MP3 back, and a somewhat diminished quality if I don't trust them, if I never used this client before. I'll give them a somewhat diminished quality of it. Maybe I'll cut the last 3 seconds off or the last half second off, make it so it just isn't quite usable. And say, if you sign off on that, send me the other half of the rate, and then I'll relinquish the file. I'll give you the WAV file, and you'll have it, and we'll be good. And then when they pay that other half, they get the finished file. easy back and forth. If they're a professional client, this will be no problem. This can all be done in a day. I've done it in a day a million times. And after you've worked with them once or twice, then you just give them the WAV file and they'll pay you, right? I've never had anybody stiff me. Not on the second or third gig. Nobody's ever stiffed me. And the worst to worst, you've gotten the half up front, and then if they never pay you for the other half, depends on how hard you want to pursue them. But you definitely should pursue them. And then the other thing that you need to say to them is, this rate is for the script as provided. I don't edit the script. And it will be for any pickups for mispronunciations or to redeliver an incorrectly delivered line. Any script changes incur additional fees, right? That's only fair. Clients will always go, there's a change. I want to call the product this instead of that. Can you re-record that? Sure, for an extra fee. I'm happy to do it for an extra fee. Your mistake does not mean I work for free. You change something, you hire me again. It's a new thing. And that's been really effective for me. By knocking the 15% off to not charge for somebody else's overhead that I'm not charging for, I believe is perfectly ethical, keeps the rate high enough for other voice actors. I'm not undercutting anybody. These are the rates. But it also means I get to deal and build a relationship directly with a client without having a middleman in between. All of those things together, I'm willing to do it for 10, 15, maybe up to 20% off the standard rate for a non-union voice actor like me. I hope this helps. Now, go find a paid gig, quote a good rate, and record something amazing. Talk to you next time.